Well, I'm back. Sorry about that slight break between the videos. The screen kind of recording equipment I use has a 15-minute limit. So I'll carry on. There's only about 5 minutes of this lesson left anyway, so this will be a nice short video for you to watch now. So yes, I was given an example for the story mounting using my hamster anecdote from my lockdown experience. So the opening would be me being on the Zoom call. I'd explain about the boys coming to get me and shouting, the hamster's out of his cage, he's out of his cage. And the build-up is kind of me rushing down the stairs to find out where this hamster is because he's crawled under the sofa. The climax is when we realise that he's been in the Easter eggs and he's actually eaten the chocolate. If you didn't know already, chocolate is toxic to hamsters, and he had it all stuffed in his pouches. So the resolution is I had to get some cucumber in order to kind of get him out from under the sofa first of all, because we had to get him out first. And then obviously he ate that and he wet the chocolate in his pouches. I had to put him back in his cage, and then he regurgitated all this kind of chocolate goo and mess all over his like bedding. So obviously the ending is me cleaning the bedding and Harry is alive and well and has lived to tell the tale. So that would be my stage of the story. So if I was doing a 5-point plan, which shouldn't take more than a few minutes to do really, my opening would be boys come and get me during the Zoom call to tell me he's escaped. Build up is crawling around on the floor under the sofa trying to find him. The climax would be finding that he's been into the Easter eggs and his pouches are stuffed with chocolate. The resolution is giving him the cucumber, putting him back in his cage, and the ending is he did pop it all out of his pouches and he's absolutely fine. Okay, so that would be the 5 stages. Now the thing is though, I wouldn't have to perform that in those exact stages. I might decide to start the story with my impression of the boys running in and telling me that the hamsters escaped. And then I might talk to the audience a bit about, and it happened within a Zoom call, blah, blah, blah. And then I might decide to kind of jump, I don't know, to the climax. So you don't need to stick to the order, but make sure all elements are covered to make it a coherent tale that you're telling us about your experience, okay? Obviously, if you're doing more of the diary-based idea, you still need to think about these elements in regards to the point you're trying to make, what you're actually talking about, and what's going to be the kind of high point of that speech and how you're going to end it. So you still need to think about these stages even if you're not telling an anecdote story. So the final stage is to have a go at writing it. Now, obviously, this lesson, you're not going to be writing your monologue because I wanted to give you really a week to think about it. Think about the story you might write. If you need to email me, ask me for some advice, or if you can't think what to write about, just fire off an email to me and I'll try and help you come up with an idea. When it comes to actually writing the monologue, which is going to be next week's lesson, so next week's lesson, I'm just going to, you don't have to put up with seeing this face again for another week. I will set you off on task, and that task is going to be to write your plan and then write your monologue. Now, these are the rules for it, okay? It needs to be based on one of your experiences of the lockdown. As I've said, it's a truly unique experience for this to happen in your lifetime. So this is a piece that you can revisit years later. You know, it becomes a piece of history for you and your family, doesn't it? Your monologue should be no longer than 2 minutes, okay? Don't do any longer than that. We're roughly talking like a written side of A4 is about a 2-minute performance. So don't go for longer than that, but equally don't give me a 20-second version either. You know, aim for somewhere between kind of 1.5 and 2 minutes would be kind of perfect timing for this. At the end of the topic, so several weeks from now, I will talk about how we're going to assess these monologues. Obviously, next week when you write it, submit it to me in the normal way, but I won't be marking it at that stage because the overall mark's going to be based on the annotations and the things that we add over the coming weeks, okay? So you are going to keep revisiting it. But for this week, you don't need to worry about any of that. On your lesson, there's now some multiple choice questions to complete, and that is it for this week. It's been lovely talking to you all, and good luck with it. I will see you at the next masterclass. Bye.